Hi Flosstube! Here we are, Flosstube number 3. I'm Megan, aka Stitching Moon, here on YouTube and on Instagram. And yeah, I've got a lot to talk about. It feels like it's been longer than 2 weeks, but yeah, I've done quite a bit, which is great. Yeah, it's August 16th today. And yeah, I'm already wearing a sweater in August in Norway. I swear, as soon as it turns August, it can be beautiful in June and July. And then August comes and it's like fall and bundle up. So it's a little chilly. And I know it's crazy. So many people I've been watching have been like, it's so hot here. And I'm like already wearing sweaters. I do miss that about, I used to be living in Florida in the US, and I love the heat. I know a lot of people, hate the heat and say they or can't stand this heat wave most people have been having this summer, but yeah, it was too hot in the summer in Florida, but the rest of the year was just perfect and beautiful and sunny, which I do miss sometimes. But at the same time, in Norway, the houses here have like so much insulation, so it's crazy hot. Even when it can be kept pretty cool out, like even in the 70s, and inside it's like stifling. So in a way, I'm kind of glad that that heat is over, at least for now. Who knows, it could come back later on. But yeah, it's funny, I'm watching so much more Flosstube lately, and I feel like I have a weather report of like all over the world because everyone talks about the weather. So what else? I have some notes here I'll just be looking down at because I do have kind of a lot today. Yeah, so I've been stitching a lot in the past couple weeks and watching a lot of Flosstube. And I think I'm gonna have some shout outs like later on in the video because I've had so much time to watch people's Flosstubes, which has been awesome. July was crazy, kind of nonstop, and now August is kind of like a sigh of relief, which is nice. Yeah, so I think I'll start off with just what I've been working on. And in my last video, I talked about, I had a nice long weekend to myself and I was going to do as much cross stitching as I could, aiming for 24 hours. And I came close, but didn't quite hit it. I got 20 hours because I still had to sleep. That was like a big thing of having the weekend to myself, was to catch up on sleep. So I kind of had to make that a priority. But I did get 20 like full hours of stitching where I would set a timer just while I was stitching. So it was good 20 full hours. And as I did that, I worked on all of my, well, at the time I had 4 whips. So I worked on all of those, and I'd switch it. I'd spin the wheel each hour, and whatever it landed on, I would work on for that hour. But it was kind of interesting. It turned out exactly even at the end. I got 5 hours on everything. So that was interesting, even though it was supposed to be kind of a random wheel. And I was watching, I did like a Lord of the Rings marathon, and I watched all 3 Lord of the Rings as I stitched that weekend. And I haven't done that in so long. I missed those movies. Like, I love Lord of the Rings, and I used to be like a super fan, and yeah, so it was nice to kind of just do that and relax, do a lot of stitching, have some quiet time. So that was lovely. And then the rest of the time after that weekend and the 2 weeks after, I still used the wheel, like the random wheel with all my projects on it every day. So for the day in the morning, I would just spin that, and whatever it landed on, that's what I would stitch on for that day. And I like that method. It's kind of fun. You're like, I wonder what I'm going to stitch on today, and it's like a little surprise you get to look forward to. So for now, I'll continue that method, but I don't know, I might change as I go along. So let's get into my whips that I worked on. The first one I'll show you is the camera, and I'm going to try and get better at like saying what I'm stitching these on because I don't think I've been doing that. So this is called, I think it's just Camera 2. And yeah, what I'm also going to show you is a picture of what it looked like last time you saw it. So maybe that'll be a little backwards for this one. But hopefully I can put in a picture of where it was last time, because I did take pictures. And this is where it is now. And I did a lot during, again, like the 5 hours during my 20 hours of cross stitch, but then I only got 1 day on it after that. So decent progress for not too much time stitching on it. And this is on 14 count Ada and all the called for DMC. And this is from an Etsy shop, which I thought Light Unicorn Designs is the name of it. So I can link that below. And I do also have a picture of what it'll look like when it is finished. And that is here. And this is going to be a gift for my mom, who's into photography. So, yeah, that's that one. Not too much else to say about it. The next one, oh, oopsies. I didn't take it out of my, you know what, I'm gonna show you a picture of what it looked like the last time while I take it out, because I do want to show you. This one looks pretty cool when it's out of the Q-snap. So I will take it out for you guys. And this one is the blue watercolor Poppies, and it's a gift for my sister, whose, I think her favorite flower is poppies. But she likes them a lot, at least. Yeah, so it's kind of wrinkled. I just took it out. It's got Q-snap marks on it. But this one is also on 14 count Ada and all of the called for DMC. And I know it's like tight on the edges, like close, but I did that kind of purposely over here because it is supposed to be like close to the edge. Like when you frame it, like it's basically gonna be like almost right there. So I hope I left enough. It doesn't look like I have that much. Yeah, I'm hoping this will fit. Like it's gonna be pretty close. I have a whole nother poppy to go like over here. Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm like scared to measure it. I'm just gonna keep working on it until we come to an inch. But I mean, I measured it, like, it should work out okay. But yeah, that one is, I'll show you what that one's gonna look like. I have a picture. So you can see even on here, it's like supposed to be really close to the edges. And that third poppy is not, it's not huge, so I think it should fit. It's just gonna be very tight. Okay. Oh, and how many days did I get on this one? Oh, besides the weekend that I got, I only got 2 days of work on this one. Yeah, I'll go put that back in the snap after. Okay. Next one, oh, this one's fun because it's the Queen of Silk. Last time you saw it, I can put a picture here. 1 stitch, half a stitch. And this is what it'll look like when it is finished. And I got a good amount, I think, on this one. Well, 3 days, okay. 3 days plus the weekend of stitching. So yeah, I've got a lot in the tree. And this one I'm just stitching like kind of cross country going down because even though it's like kind of full coverage in here, but I don't know, it just works out that way because things are not that far away, so there's not a ton of counting. And this one is on 14 count Ada, not white, I don't know what it is, it just came in the kit. And obviously all the floss from in the kit. So yeah, that one is that, like, it's got a good amount, I think. All right. And that one's one of the ones, the few for myself, not a gift for anybody. The next one is another gift. And I got a lot on this one. I feel like the wheel just kept on going with this one every day. It felt like I was stitching this. But it's good because it's a gift that I want to finish before Christmas. And I got on this one, it's the Jul Heart, so I'll show you what it looked like last time. And I also have to put in a picture of what the finished part will look like. And this one came up 6 days, so I got 6 days plus the stitching weekend. And this one is coming along. You can see like through it, but let's see. So Jul, that is Norwegian for Merry Christmas. And I'm very glad it's in Norwegian because that is way shorter to stitch than Merry Christmas. And look at the little reindeer. They're so cute. I think the only little like motifs I have left are a Christmas tree and a house on top on either side. And then of course I have to finish the rest of the heart. And the reason it looks like kind of cut off like that, and even the bottom part, is because what I use to stitch, it's not Pattern Keeper. It's like an Apple, no, it's iBooks, just comes for free on Apple. And it just does it page by page, like it doesn't combine them into like one full pattern. So I'm just working one page at a time because it's easier that way. I feel like if I tried it like swiping from page to page back and forth, that I would like really mess up. So each thing that I work on is just like page by page for now. So things kind of get cut off like that, but that's all right. Oh, and this is on 28 count linen, and it's stitched 2/2. And it's the called for DMC, which is just one color. All right, and that was another Etsy shop, which again I can link below. And that was all my whips that I had started the last time I talked, but I started 2 more this time. So the first one I'm going to show you is the Galliana sampler, and I had a little dilemma with this one that I'll talk about, but I'll first show you what the finished one is going to look like. Let's see. It was from Etsy, and this is actually it's about, or it has hidden within it things from 2020 that happened. So things about COVID, things about the fires, things that we had extra time to do during lockdown and things like that. So I thought that was interesting, and I did not trust myself to find all the things. So I emailed her and she sent me a list of all the different hidden things, which I'm not going to say them all right here, but I am going to stitch the hidden things in a different color. So as you go along, if you want to follow my progress, you'll see like, oh, these are the ones that are the hidden designs from 2020. So I'm excited to see how that comes out. I've only seen it stitched in one color so far, so that'll be fun. And so my dilemma with it was I had originally done this on 28 count linen, and let me find that. Here it is. And okay, my first time with like, or I'm very new to like working with different fabrics and linen and like samplers and just like what you stitch what on, because I know like people who do the big full coverages will often stitch like 25 or 28 count one strand of thread over one like square or one box. So I'm like, oh, I have this linen, let's try, I wanted to try that and see what it was like, because I've only really ever done 14 count. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'll try this design doing that. And I started it and I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be like that, because, you know, the samplers, I think they're kind of meant to be a little bigger so you can see more of like, I don't know, the full design, whereas the full coverage, it's kind of made so you're not really supposed to see the stitches. So I started it on a 28 count doing 1/1. And it's, yeah, teeny tiny. And I was going a little cross-eyed. Plus, like, for sampler, like this one called for like an even weave, which I realized after the fact that linen is not that. So I decided, like, I was in a dilemma. I was like, what do I do? Because this fabric is small and it would only fit, it's only going to fit if I do 1/1. So I was like, I don't have any extra fabric. Like, if I wanted to do over 2 strands or over 2 boxes instead, the design would be way too big for the fabric. So I was like, crap, what do I do? So, and again, like, it's the access for me in Norway for different types of fabric is limited. I would have to order it online, like have it shipped, and I don't even know exactly what I would want. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to one of the local stores in Norway, see what they have. So I did that, and they didn't have much. They only have like Ada, and they don't have a lot of different like size counts either. So I ended up going with a 14 count Ada, but it's like, I didn't want white for this project. So it's like a creamy color. And I restarted it. And so this will be the size, basically double what it would have been if I did 1/1, 28. But it's 14 count over 2 strands, or with 2 strands over 2 boxes. And I only got 1 start day on this. So I just wanted to start it and see what it would look like. And the color, it's hard to show up. It's not really showing up quite that well here, but it's like a reddish. And this is actually part of one of the hidden things, because I'm going to do those in red and then the others in like a purplish. Just the regular background design. So not much to see now, I know, but over time it'll come along, and I'm glad I did that change. Like, I'm happy with that change in fabric and stuff, and just the count size. It's going to be way easier to stitch, and I think it'll look better in the end. But then I was like, well, what do I do with like this piece of fabric? I haven't taken out the stitches yet, but I did find a pattern that I already have that will fit perfectly on this if I do it over 2. And I'm not going to show that one now because I'm going to do that. I think I'll probably start it next year, and it might be a stitch along with one of my friends on Instagram who has the same pattern. So we'll wait for that for another episode. But yeah, that was my Galliana sampler dilemma, but got it figured out. It's good. All right, let's see. Next, yeah, so on my first video, I showed you guys the 3 different full coverages that I wanted to work on. It's coming up kind of soon. And I thought my first one was going to be the Heaven and Earth design. And I already ordered the material pack. And it looks like this. It's called Together by Jim Warren. And yeah, I ordered this back in the early May, the whole material pack. And I did have it delivered to my family in the US because the shipping was like a lot more to come here to Norway. So I'm having it sent to my family in the US. And it says on their site, you know, it takes 90 days for the material pack. And I was like, well, I have a lot of other things to work on, so I can wait. And then, like, to the day, 90 days later, on early August, like a week ago, I'm like, hey, what's the status? Turns out it's 90 business days. So I'm like, really? So that would be like early September that it's actually shipped to my family in the US. Then, yeah, who knows when I'm gonna actually get that here, because it looks like borders are probably not going to open again for Norway and the US for a while, with just, you know, COVID and the Delta variant and everything. So I'd probably have to have her ship it here, which could take another month or so. Yeah, so I was like, I want to start something full coverage now. So I did. So there was a sale on another company that I order from sometimes. It's from the UK. They're called Lovecrafts. And they had a sale on, well, I don't think it was actually a sale on DMC, but some fabrics and stuff were on sale. And I was like, ooh, I want to start another one of full coverages. So I just bought enough floss for 1 page and then the fabric. And that one is for Children on the Beach. Yeah, so this is a picture, it's a painting originally by Mary Cassatt, and this one is charted by Cross Stitch Collectibles. And the reason I like this one so much, like normally it wouldn't really be my style, but because we actually had this painting growing up in our dining room, like from when I was teeny tiny, like it was just always there. And that little girl in the front looked like I did as a baby, and we would always just say, oh yeah, it's little Meggie. That's what they used to call me, Meggie. And we just said like the one behind her was my sister because she wouldn't feel left out. And so it was just like a fun little painting we had hanging up, and I would always just kind of like looking at it. And now it looks like my daughter, Sienna, even actually more than I think it did me. So it's just like one of those sentimental things. And even like, I don't know, something about the sailboat in the background and the water, it just like has this wistful kind of feeling for me that, and you know, I don't know, like some kind of daydreamy feeling that I get now when I'm stitching on it. So yeah, I really like it so far, even though I'm not very far. And it's my first like real full coverage, which is awesome. So I'll show you my start on that. By the way, I'm sorely lacking in a project bag, so literally this is the package that it came in the mail. That's what I'm using right now. But yeah, this is the company, if you want to see. It's Love Crafts, and apparently it says I'm 100% recyclable and reusable. I'm recycling it now. Yeah, so, okay, I got a lot of parked threads here. I did this much. It is on 18 count Ada. This is my first time actually stitching 18 count, and I like it. I think it's pretty good. No issues with it. I'm using 2 strands. And so I thought I got all of the colors that I needed for just the first page. And I did like my hardest, like go through and like make sure I got all the symbols in there, but I missed like 3 at least so far. No, maybe 4. Because the symbols are so similar. It's like one can be arrows, like 2 arrows going that way, and then it's like the other one, oh, it's that way, and, you know. So I missed, there's like a few missing colors, like there's one random spot up there, and then there's like going to be a few, there is a few down here, because like all of that blank right there, I'm missing those colors, which annoys me. So I may have to go to the local place, the local store, and pay like $3 a skein for one, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm just happy I have a start on it. And it was awesome because I wasn't sure if I was gonna have to pay customs on it or not, even though it was like under, I think just under the amount that can come in. But yeah, it just came right to my mailbox in like 2 weeks, so I was like, oh, good to know. So I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'll probably order more for the rest of the pages from them. But how I'm stitching it is just page by page, and obviously I only have enough for 1 page. And I wasn't sure if I should do like diagonal or across or down. As I was going down, I realized I might get lines. Like, I don't know if I go up, you might be able to see like the box lines. I'm hoping not, but if you can, I'm gonna do the next box like starting down here and just work my way up. And if I can see any lines, then I think I'm just going to switch to like kind of diagonal boxes going down. I wish I could do the diagonal that Bonnie from Thread the Needle did a tutorial on recently. I really like that method where she like does kind of a 10 by 10 box diagonally down and like cross country within that. And that looked really cool, but the only thing is, since I'm not using Pattern Keeper, it's really tough to do that. So I did try a new free app for Apple products that's called, I have it written down, Markup RXP, that somebody actually commented and mentioned that, I think. And I tried it, and I'm using it for this, but I am not a fan for a couple reasons. One is like you have to make sure you save each time, like when you do the markup, like you have to make sure before you like close out or anything that you save your markup progress, which I'm not used to because in the iBooks that I was using, I would just highlight and whatever and like close it out and it just automatically saves it. So I don't have to worry about it. And I realized like, yeah, I was doing that on this one and I logged out. Luckily I didn't have that much progress, but it just like completely got rid of all my markups, all my parked threads, like everything. I was like, really? So I'm like, okay, remember to save, remember to save. And then of course the next time, like last night I was tired. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I didn't save it. So that's really annoying and potentially disastrous. But it is nicer that like it's neater when you're highlighting because it like highlights the full box for you when you touch it versus like highlighting can get a little messy, but that's not a big deal. And the other thing that I don't like about this markup XP is that it does like it tells you can highlight the symbols. Like I've heard people who use Pattern Keeper say you can like pick a symbol and it'll highlight all the instances of that symbol to make it easier to find. I'm like, and it's had that in here. I'm like, oh yeah. But I tried it and it's not accurate at all. It would like highlight other symbols or it would miss symbols like of the same one. And I'm like, okay, I'm not using that. That's useless. And it doesn't like keep track of your progress, like how many stitches or percentage or your stitch count. And it doesn't put all the pages together. So I'm like, why am I using this? I might as well just use what I was using, which I might do. I don't think I'm going to use it for any other projects. I might keep it going on this unless I keep forgetting to hit save, then I'll just go back to the other way after this page. But yeah, that is unfortunately how my experience was with that markup RXP. But maybe someday I'll get Pattern Keeper. I don't know. I mean, it's working okay with the other one. So we'll see. But yeah, that is Children on the Beach. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have my other projects out. So I really need to like put my projects away as I go because I like panicked where I thought I lost like some of my threads, like my skeins after the last one and I could not find them and it took forever. Finally I found them rolled up in like other ones because I wasn't paying attention when I was doing this. I'm like, yeah, I'll just throw this over here. And then I never see them again. So I'm gonna try and get better at that as I go along. Okay, next is, okay, first, yeah. Okay, well, no, I'll do a little reminder of, like, last video I mentioned that I was going to be doing a stitch along, starting one, on September 11th, something New York related that's, like, in memory of the towers, the Trade Center, because it's coming up on 20 years this coming year. So as I mentioned that in my last video, and somebody else actually somebody commented that another Flosstuber was also doing something similar as a stitch along, and they're using the hashtag remember 9/11 whereas my hashtag I'll be using is hashtag NYC stitch along. And that Flosstube I think is, oh, I have it written down, stitch and button, like stitch and button, but it's like stitch and then the letter N, button. And somebody commented that, but I couldn't like say thank you or anything because their comment disappeared. And I think it's because they put a link to someone else's Flosstube. So apparently if you want to leave a comment, do not use any links because YouTube will just like, I'll see half of the comment and then I can't open it and it doesn't show up. So just be careful when you comment and don't put any links because then I'm not going to be able to see your comment. But anyway, I was able to see part of that comment that had the link. So I was able to check that out. So I'm going to use both hashtags when I do mine. So yeah, that'll be happening. And that one, I'll show you what my pattern for that is going to be. And again, it's another gift for my mother-in-law, because she loves visiting New York City. And yeah, so I originally had got her a pattern as a gift, like literally, so the reason I'm doing so many gifts is because when I got back into cross stitching and I didn't really know what I wanted to do with all of finishes when I was done, I was like, there's gonna be too many frames everywhere. Like I just bought like a bunch of patterns for people that like things that reminded me of them or that I thought they would like. So I was like, well, at least when I finish I can like give them away. But now, of course, after Flosstube, I'm like, I want to keep all the things myself. But I already had all these patterns, so I'm going to do them. But I did have a different one for her originally because she also really likes coffee, and it was like a coffee one. But then as I was going through and like seeing more and more designs, I ended up not liking that one anymore, so I'm not going to do it. So I like this one better, so I'll be stitching this one for her. And I had said last time I wanted to finish this for Norwegian Mother's Day in February, but you know, it could also be finished for her birthday next August, so a year, more than a year from now, because she'll be turning 60, which is a big one, so this could be cool for a 60th birthday present, right? Nice handmade gift. So I'm giving myself some leeway because I have so many other things that I'll be working on. So either one is fine with me. Less pressure. Next. Oh, exciting! Yeah, so I was very enabled. As I said, I've been watching a lot of Flosstube, and I found a few Flosstubers talking about and showing new patterns released by Nora Corbett. She normally does the Mirabilia, but these are not Mirabilia, I don't believe. They just say Nora Corbett. And they are the Zodiac girls. So like one from each sign of the Zodiac. And I am really interested in astrology and I love that stuff. So I was so excited. And I ordered all the patterns. This is like an example of Aries, the first one. Oh, it's just so pretty, and there's one for each of them. Although, well, there's 6 of them right now. There's 12 zodiac signs, but only 6 are actually released as of now, as of May, I think. So they're not brand new. Yeah, I emailed and asked because I couldn't find them all, and I'm like, where are they? And they're like, oh, we're just released the first 6 for now. I'm like, fine. So I found all the patterns on eBay, and I ordered from Sandra's Stitch Shop on eBay, and she was lovely. She was like, I asked because, you know, again, shipping to Norway can be expensive, and I wanted to order all 6 patterns, and I was like, I asked her, like, will I have to pay like a separate shipping, which was like 16 something for each of them, or can I do like a one-time shipment if they're all sent together? And she's like, oh no, eBay should just do it like as one shipment if you order them all, because there's paper patterns, right? So I did that, and it turned out it did charge me a little bit extra for shipping than that 16, but she had said, like, I let her know, and she's like, oh, I'll give you a refund for that. So I'm just paid for the one shipping, and she was super responsive, super fast, super nice. So yeah, I would definitely recommend her shop. Sandra's Stitch Shop, I'll link that. But one thing I want to do when these all come out is something a little fun. I think I'll do a Flosstube Extra, my first one, where once I get all these like actual hard patterns in the mail, I think I want to do an extra video where I just kind of show the pictures of each one, but also talk a little bit about astrology, like kind of the energy of each sign and how I see that represented in the pattern. Now, I'm not like an expert by any means, so it's just like an interest of mine that I've, you know, read a lot into and know a little bit about, but it would just be my interpretation of like what the signs represent and how the pattern shows them. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about like your full birth chart, because most people just know like their sun sign, or I guess also in the UK maybe they call it their star sign. But the sun sign is basically what most people say. You know, I'm a Scorpio is my sun, and so, you know, you'll get like the generic horoscopes that come out every month about your star sign, your sun sign, and they're often just like very vague and not meaningful. But when you look at your full birth chart, like everybody has all of the signs somewhere in their chart because it's all represented there. So you also have the planets going into each different signs based on the time and place of your birth. And so it's really cool. It just gives you like a more nuanced approach to like, and it's very complex if you get into it. Like I haven't got super deep into it, but there's so many different things and like influences of different planets and angles, and yeah, it can get really complicated fast. But I think maybe just like a simple overview of talking about these would be fun. So if you are interested in seeing something like that, make sure you're subscribed, but also make sure you hit the bell next to the subscription button so that way you're notified when that video comes out, which I hope will be in the next month or so. I should get all the patterns by early September, so sometime after that. But yeah, I think it'd just be fun, something different. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. What else? Yeah, so I think the next thing I wanted to do are some shout outs, because again, I've been watching a lot of Flosstube, and one of them was where I saw these Zodiac girls. One of the channels I saw it on was Linda's 144 Hobbies, and I like watching her channel. She has so many awesome projects, and she recently did a whip parade, and there's like epic projects. They're amazing. And she loves full coverage and mirabilia. So if you like those, I'm sure you've heard of her and are subscribed to her channel already, but definitely check her out if not. She also got, I think, the first 3 of the Zodiac girls. So yeah, they're really fun. And another person that I've actually been watching for a long time, from like when I first started watching Flosstube, she was like one of the first ones that I found, who also does a lot of full coverage, is Jemima from The Rocking Stitcher. So again, I'm sure you probably know about her, but I just wanted to shout her out because I just love seeing her projects, and I don't know how she stitches so much so fast. It's like amazing, but she's definitely inspired me to do full coverage as well. And then I just wanted to shout out, like I've been watching some newer Flosstubers too, and there's so many awesome people out there. And one that I really like and just wanted to mention is Ashley from Yas Stitch, or I thought it was like Yas Stitch, but it's Yas Stitch, I think is what he said. So I'll link his below, but yeah, I just thought he was hilarious, and he talks about his cross-stitching journey like into it, which is really funny, a long journey into cross-stitch. But yeah, I just really liked his first video and wanted to shout him out. Yeah, I like when other Flosstubers like shout out people, and because I get to see like new people, because I don't know, YouTube seems to only recommend like the same few people over and over or things like that. So I always like to find like new people, new projects. So maybe I'll do that, like at least when I get to watch some Flosstube, I'll do some shout outs for people. But I think that wraps up today. Yeah, I think that's it. So I hope you liked what you see. Yeah, if you want to comment, subscribe. If you want to go like take part in the New York Stitch Along, then definitely, you know, mention that in the comments. You can also find me on Instagram. I know some people have reached out there saying that they were going to be joining. So again, Stitching Moon is also on Instagram, so either place. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!